Hi, this is my review of the Gunslinger, a complete player class and firearms sourcebook for 5th edition. That's right, you can introduce the Gunslinger class to any Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign. Now let's talk about the quality of the PDF. The quality is great. Everything is fully bookmarked and hyperlinked, so it's going to be very easy for you to navigate your way through this PDF. The graphic design looks simple but colorful. The illustrations are appropriate for the theme of gunslinging and swashbuckling. Everything is well written, organized, and explained. I did find a section of the text that was out of place, but this is going to be fixed in a future update. That is, there is too much space between two words, but that's about it. So the quality is great. Now let's talk about the contents. This book came about or was inspired by the Seas of Bodari campaign setting, but all of the material here is easy to implement in any campaign setting. For example, in Faerun, you have the technology from the gnomes in Lantern. When it comes to Greyhawk, you have the weird science from the Barrier Peaks. And in Ravenloft, there are several places where firearms are quite common. So you can easily take the classes, the weapons, everything here, and apply them to your setting of choice. Now let's talk about the Gunslinger class and its various subclasses or archetypes. The Gunslingers are highly trained in firearms. They are a cut above anyone who picks up a pistol or musket. Drawing on their bravado, Gunslingers can accomplish deeds with firearms that would be difficult or even impossible for others. The class is pretty decent when it comes to hit points, and your saving throws are based on dexterity and charisma. You are proficient in the use of light armor, simple weapons, simple firearms, martial firearms, and you start with Tinker's Tools. When it comes to skills, you have things such as acrobatics, deception, insight, sleight of hand. Concerning your fighting style, you can choose from archery, pistol dueling, and twin firearms. I think archery is quite appropriate because sometimes firearms can get quite noisy, and stealth is required. You have bravado. This is one of the key features of the class. You can draw on your courage and confidence to accomplish deeds with firearms that would seem impossible to others, powered by bravado points. Your gunslinger level determines the number of points you have, as shown on the bravado points column of the gunslinger table. You can spend these points to feel various bravado features called deeds. For example, Deadeye. When you take the attack action using a firearm, you can spend one bravado point to gain advantage on the attack roll. Or Vigilance. While wearing light or medium armor, when an attacker that you can see hits you with an attack, you can use your reaction to spend one bravado point, adding your proficiency bonus to your armor class for that attack. And these are just a few ways in which you can employ these bravado points. You also have other features such as Sidestep. Your extraordinary reflexes allow you to sidestep or tumble out of the way of trouble. When an attacker that you can see hits you with an attack, you can use your reaction to have the attack's damage against you. In addition, you can step out of the way of further assault, moving up to half your speed without provoking opportunity attacks. You also have things such as critical aim. You have improved your ability to aim for the weak spots of your targets. When you hit a creature with a firearm attack and roll a natural 18 or 19 on the d20, you can spend one bravado point to make that a critical hit. Let's talk about the archetypes. You have the Arcane Gunmaster. Arcane Gunmasters are rare gunslingers who can weave magic into their shots using a rare form of sorcery. So you are able to weave magic into your ballistics, gaining the ability to cast spells as you shoot. Then we have the Musketeer. The Musketeer is a gunslinger who takes up their weapons in service of the crown. Defending their monarch's honor becomes the only thing more important than earning a reputation for personal gallantry. This is for the gun-fu enthusiasts out there, because you combine your melee attacks with your pistol or firearm attacks. Next we have the Pistolero. A Pistolero is a gunslinger that focuses on combining blinding speed, deadly aim, and panache. These gunslingers are known for their uncanny skill and luck. This one is all about gun tricks, disarming your opponents, providing suppressing or covering fire, and dealing a lot of damage. Then we have the sniper. The development of increasingly accurate firearms and ammunition has led some gunslingers to become stealthy, precise hunters in the wild or on the battlefield. This one is great if you want to play as a ranged combat assassin sort of character, or even infiltrator. Next we have the Soulbinder. Whether you made a bargain with a sinister spirit at a crossroads, or etched eldritch sigils into the barrel of your gun in your sleep, your mind is filled with sinister knowledge that you apply to your gun slinging. This one feels a bit like a warlock gunslinger. For example, you have features such as Harvester of Souls. When a creature dies within 60 feet of you, once during the next minute you can use your reaction and spend one bravado point to bind its soul to a weapon you are wielding. The soul remains bound to that weapon until you finish a long rest or die. When you hit with an attack using a weapon that has any number of souls bound to it, you deal an additional 1d6 necrotic damage. Your attack ignores resistance or immunity to non-magical piercing damage, and your attack leaves a visible trail of darkness through the air for a moment. You can bind a number of souls to your weapon at one time, up to your proficiency bonus. A creature whose soul is bound to your weapon can't be returned to life against your will. And these are just some of the features. Then we have the Spear Gunner. While using flintlock firearms is impossible underwater, this hasn't prevented the emergence of undersea gunslingers. These are definitely quite useful when it comes to underwater skirmishes. But you also have information on crafting spear gun shafts, additional fighting styles. Even outside of the water, you can be quite stealthy because you are not making a lot of noise going guns akimbo with your firearms. When it comes to the use of spear weapons, you have some very interesting uses for your shots, such as concussive shot. When you hit a creature with a spear gun attack, you can spend 2 bravado points and the target takes an additional 2d8 thunder damage. In addition, the shot explodes immediately after the attack. The target and all other creatures within a 15-foot radius sphere must succeed on a strength saving throw. On a failure, creatures and objects that aren't being worn or carried are pushed 15 feet away from you and are knocked prone. There's also the Sentinel Shot. When a creature you can see makes an attack against an ally, as a reaction you can spend 2 bravado points to make a ranged weapon attack against it. On a hit, the target takes an additional 2d8 damage. Whether you hit or miss, the target makes their attack with disadvantage. So there are some situational nuances when it comes to this subclass. Next we have the section covering equipment, such as Gunslinger Armor, Heavy Leather Coat, Armored Uniform. It's all quite thematic. You also have details on simple firearms such as the light pistol, martial melee weapons such as the bayonet and reinforced stock, martial firearms such as the blunderbuss, the dragon pistol, the heavy pistol, and the firearms are quite common in your game world. There is a table showing you the typical firearm proficiencies that each class has. For example, the cleric is knowledgeable in the use of simple firearms, while the fighter of course also has access to martial firearms. The druid has none, however. There are also detailed lists covering adventuring gear, such as the holster and gun belt, the merchant's scale, and different types of ammunition. You also have different gunslinger tools, such as the alchemist's supplies, the tinker's tools. You have gunslinger magic items, such as the banisher, the seeking musket, the serpent pistol, the thundering firearm, and even legendary pieces such as the devil's right hand. I am going to avoid the properties and details of these different magical items, because they could be used as an important part of an adventure, so there are going to be no spoilers in this review. There is also a Game Master's Tools section, with information on how to introduce firearms, firearm fits, how to handle the different eras of firearm technology. There are also details on additional weapons, special weapons such as dynamite, the heavy gunblade, the cane pistol, and the stink pot. There's also additional equipment such as the ink cartridge pen, matches of course, the firearm silencer, and sunglasses. You also have optional rules such as crafting special ammunition, crafting accessories, how to handle duels with different winning conditions such as 3 touches, to the blood, or to the death. You also have a shooting gallery subsystem, which is perfect of course to run carnival shooting galleries. You can apply armor class different penalties and bonuses based on the targets that you pick. There are also theme appropriate traps such as the flash plate, which could have incinerating consequences. There is also the petard door trap and the blast sphere launcher. You also have allies and adversaries such as the arcane gunmaster, the musketeer, the legendary gunslinger, the sailor, the sea captain. They come fully statted and ready to be used as allies or enemies. And there's quite a few of them such as the soldier, the soulbinder, the spear gunner, etc. So what do I think about this sourcebook? I have seen several interpretations of the Gunslinger class in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, and this is the best in my opinion. This is the most complete. The subclasses, the attention paid to the various features, the gear included here, the traps, the subsystems to have duels, to play gun gallery situations. This is an extremely complete sourcebook. In only 37 pages, so much information is packed, and it's going to be quite useful and easy to apply to any campaign setting. So, my highest recommendation, definitely get the Gunslinger. You will find the link to it in the description below. Thank you for watching this review, and thank you for your likes and your comments. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. This has been Abraham El Jaguar, a professional game master. If you want me to run a game for you, please check out the pinned comment below. And remember, roleplay solves everything. Once again, thank you, and see you later.